Hey, everybody.
Hey.
It's your Uncle Mongrel here.
It's Aunt Robin.
Hey.
Hey.
And welcome.
How you doing?
Welcome to the first of... How you doing?
How you doing?
It's a little Joey there.
Joey.
Hey.
Joey. Hey.
Welcome to the first official episode of Stewart Perspective. And this first series is our journey so far. And it's our life as a full-time RVers. And for the last 2 years. Anything you want to say before we get off? I'm going to get on the...
Before we get off?
Get off.
Woo-hoo!
That went wrong.
All right, there's more to this than I thought.
Wow, that went a whole different direction.
Oh, well.
Before we start this thing rolling, is there anything you wanted to say? I was going to touch on the business and go on. Yeah.
No. You go
All
right
right.
ahead.
Touching on the business side of things, if you want to keep up with us and stuff, you can go to our YouTube channel, Random Access Web TV. There is a playlist there for Stewart Perspective. That's going to be the video format of this podcast. You can reach out to us on Facebook on Random Access Web TV and on the Stewart Perspective pages on Facebook. To follow this podcast a little more closely, you can go to blogger.com, Stewart Perspective. That is the homepage of where you will find the links each week to the audio format of this podcast and to the video format that we're doing as well. And I'm doing the video because I got a bunch of pictures from the last 2 years and some videos and stuff like that I'm going to interweave in the edit in this thing here. So it's going to be magical. That kind of thing, right? Anyway, so...
Because it's been magical.
Because it's been magical, yeah. Yeah, so there's that. And also on the blogger, you can go to Random Access Web TV, and that's the archive of the original podcast that I did in 2012 that we had 7,000 followers in 27 different countries. So that was kind of cool. Still pretty cool out there, and you can listen to that one. But this is our personal one, me and Robin. And this is going to be, this first series is our journey for the last 2 years. And as full-time RVers. This is going to be interesting. I think we're going to start the show off with May of 2019. That was, we had spent, me personally, a total of 5 years up here in New Hampshire. And
I've been up to 3.
3 at that time. And funny enough, it was just supposed to be a 6-month contract. Yeah, 6 months turned into 5 years.
Almost exactly to the day.
Almost exactly to the day, yeah. About 10 days out. The 2nd of May was our last day, and the first day was May 12th. Yeah. So we were 10 days out from exactly 5 years. Yeah. But we start that one out because I've got a beautiful little video where you're going to see where we started everything from. And we start from leaving. The plan, once the contract was over in New Hampshire, was we actually had a plan, believe it or not.
We had a plan.
We had a plan. We had
and like most of our plans, God went, ha, watch this.
Watch this.
Yeah.
So we had saved up some money, and we had paid off a lot of our debt and everything like that, and our plan was...
We were doing well.
We were going to be traveling contractors again, so we were going to go buy an RV. Hey! We got approved for a loan before we even looked at one. And Aunt Robin, God bless her, did the research because I was working. She did the research. She found one that, man, when she showed it to me, it's awesome. Don't get me wrong. You may hear us gripe about our RV. I like our RV.
I like our RV. It's nice. I mean, it's for 2 only.
It's for 2 only.
Magical. I love that part of it.
And
it has, the king size bed. I found the thing that really got me was dual vanity.
Dual vanities. Yeah.
I was like, this is the one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad, but after 2 years of living in it, and after all the research that I have now done, because I would love to grow into something else, and that's going to change. We're not going to give away spoilers and stuff. That may change, but as you can obviously see in the background here, we're not in an RV. This, this we'll get to that. Anyway, this RV is basically, it's a starter RV. It's a starter RV. It really is. And we've learned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And quite frankly, I'm ready to move on.
And quite frankly, probably a lot more to learn.
Yeah, I'm ready to move on to another RV. And a little more room, specifically for Aunt Robin. My God. The kitchen looks like it was awesome, but it takes some getting used to. And this little kitchen that we have. And we got this big island that's right in the middle that we thought was kind of cool.
No.
It's
like it. Good for nothing.
It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I mean, for real. But we have this little dance that we have managed to do. You know, we walk around and we're not crossing each other, but we just continuously circle the island over here. Did you hear Brody in the background?
I'm hearing him. That's our dog.
That's our dog, Brody.
Nothing creepy.
So, yeah, well, I'll throw some pictures up of the RV and everything like that. I'll show you the king-size bed and everything.
It's a nice RV.
It is very nice.
It's very well, I like to say it's very roomy, but...
Okay, we have 2 dogs we've talked about in our opening.
Dogs.
And we've got a 65-pound, yours is what, Chow and...
He is Pit Bull.
Pit Bull and
Chow
Chow.
Chow.
And Chow Chow mix, yeah.
Yeah.
And my dog is Catahoula, Australian herd dog,
Like
and a foxhound mix, and he's about 70 pounds now. He's a fat sausage.
He's gained a little
He's a
bit
fat
of weight.
sausage. But both of these guys have to be right under your feet, and
Literally. Sometimes laying on top of them.
Yeah. Paco is actually right here by us. Right
Yeah.
now.
Brody's
Say hi,
right
Paco.
Right behind me. So.
Anyway, so in this RV, if it was just me and Robin, not too bad.
Not too bad at all.
But with these guys, oh my God, it gets insane. It gets insane. I'm not gonna lie. You test our patience, buddy. Yeah, how you doing?
Hi, Rocky.
Hi.
He's like, I heard my name.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
You're talking about me. Okay.
Anyway, so let's go back to
Okay.
May
2019.
2019.
Let's go back in time.
As I said, we had a plan. We were going to buy an RV and go traveling, chasing the money in this contract world. We were going to go back to Texas, move all of our stuff back. We had lived in a house for 3 years, and take everything back to Texas, put it in storage.
We had accumulated a lot of stuff.
A lot. We sold a lot, and we still have a storage that we pay like $200 a month.
We still have a 10 by 20
10 by 20 storage of stuff.
I mean, it was incredible. We sold most of our furniture.
So yeah, sold most of our big stuff, and still had a 10 by 20 storage. So there's still a lot, and we went from a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-car garage home into 400 square feet RV. What the hell were we thinking?
Yeah.
What were we thinking?
What were we
This
thinking?
was going to be an adventure.
Yeah,
this
was
is
going to
be fun. But anyway, we got approved. We had the money, and we had till the 8th of May to actually get this thing purchased. And Robin had found one at a dealership in Georgetown, Texas. And we're not going to say which one it was. There's 4 of them in that area. You have a 25% chance of finding which one it is.
Right off 35.
Right off 35.
In Georgetown.
Anyway, so we got back to Texas. And right off the bat, let's go get our RV, because we're staying at the in-laws' house. And I love my in-laws, but with the 2 dogs, their 2 dogs, our 2 dogs, us. Oh, it
is a circus.
It gets to be a circus. And we like our personal space.
Yeah.
We do.
And they have 2 cats.
And 2 cats.
Which, my dog does not like cats.
No, those are hors d'oeuvres to him.
So my mom was constantly worried.
No.
So it was very uncomfortable.
It was a little uncomfortable. Now, again, we love the folks, but it just we needed our own space. So we went out and we went to the dealership, and oh boy, this was fun. We walked in, and we had a friend from high school that was supposed to be working there, and we thought, oh well, we'll go there.
He said, "Come on in,"
and mention his name, and he'd help us, and we'd give him some support, and we walked in and we mentioned his name. Oh yeah, he's off today.
He's off today.
Well,
of course he is.
Yeah, so we get some Nicky New Boy. And I say this because I'm going to be flat out honest with you. The research Robin had done and what I had done looking at this RV, we knew way more about this thing than he did.
Yeah, he didn't know.
He didn't know crap. We could have literally sold 12 RVs to his one, just with what we knew. And we were greeny weenies, brand spanking new, okay? So we went ahead. This is the one we want. You know, we had a 1500, a GMC 1500, and I had looked at the towing specs on it and everything like that. And that's one thing you've got to be aware of in this world, in this RV life, is the towing specs on your truck. Everything matched. The numbers matched. Okay, with what we were being told. The elephant upstairs is back.
Yeah.
We have an elephant that lives above us in this motel, which is you will hear us refer to this as our 1-1 condo.
Yeah.
And
motel room.
Motel
but
room.
and she's not an elephant. She's not a big lady.
No.
She's a tiny lady.
Which is why it's extremely so surprising. It sounds like a herd of elephants out there. So if you hear thumping, it's upstairs. It's upstairs. So I digressed. Where the hell was I? Talking about
the towing capacity.
Towing capacity of the truck, right? So they had to put the trailer brake on it because I didn't have a trailer brake on my truck, you know. So I had to learn what the hell the trailer brake was. It was another $600, and the trailer hitch and everything like that was on the money and everything. And
that was the $600.
The trailer hitch was
that was the $600. The braking thing was like $100 or $200 or something.
Spoiler alert: you're gonna pay a lot of money for things that you had no freaking clue about. Okay, so you greeny weenies and you newbies out there, be prepared to put out some money. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, we may gripe a little bit about this lifestyle, but we have been able to go to a lot of places and we have seen a lot of things and we've had a lot of joy. We've made a lot of friends on the road. It's just not an easy lifestyle. Don't let anybody fool you. It's not an easy lifestyle. Okay? We did it kind of out of necessity because as a traveling contractor, to stay in the higher end fiber optic market that I do, I have to chase the contracts because they will come and go if you're not careful. And I was trying to move up and do some other things as well. Mm-hmm. So that's why we're doing that. But anyway, we ordered they ordered the RV, so they had to make ready, and we had to set an appointment to bring the truck in, and they were going to do the hitch and the trailer brake and all that good noise. And so we set apart the next 2 days trying to find somewhere to put the RV while we were in town. Because here's the deal. We were going to stay in Texas for a month, and we were supposed to head out to Georgia. We already had an RV park reserved in Georgia because I had another contract for the same company in Georgia. Mm-hmm. But what was the big surprise before we left New Hampshire? The day before we left, we get a call from my company boss. And we're like, hey, we're ready. We're going to be there June 1st for Georgia. And he's like,
he goes, whoa.
And our hearts sunk. That contract got put on hold.
Yeah.
And hint, that won't be the last time a contract gets put on hold in this 2-year journey. Whoa, boy. But our hearts sunk, so our plans kind of went out the door.
Because there wasn't anywhere else to go at that specific moment.
That specific moment, no. And even the next 3 days of traveling from New Hampshire back to Texas, was 3 or 4 that trip.
I think we had to take 4 because we have the dogs. We have to stop a little more often for them. And with towing... Well,
we were towing the truck. We were towing
my truck. Oh, yeah, we still had my truck we had to tow.
Yeah. So we didn't have the RV yet. We were going to buy that back in Georgetown and back in Texas. So we were traveling, towing her car back and everything like that, and I had the boys and stuff. So it took us 4 days to get from New Hampshire back home to Texas. And then we were going to spend a month in Texas, and we were supposed to go back on the road. So... Well, that month, part of the journey coming home was we had to find a job. So I thought, we'll just find a job back home in Texas. Fine. That's great, right? Found something that read like the same fiber optic work I've been doing for 5 years. Okay, for a company, I'm not going to say their name. Okay, I'm going to tell you it's a Spanish name for large. And it is the same name that Starbucks uses for the 3rd largest coffee drink. Figure it out. I hate this company. They used to be, when they first came on the market in Austin, Texas, back in the 90s and stuff, I was working at AT&T, and they had the industry in Austin worried when they first came in. They were a really good company. What I saw when I got down there to work for them, insane. It is a disaster. It is a disaster. And they're going with a fiber optic product that the way they're doing it is horrible. The plant is stupid. Their products are stupid. They're going directly fiber to the modem and stuff, and that limits you and all kinds of stuff. That's technical crap. Sorry, But 3 days. That's all that job lasted. 3 days. I didn't get paid squat for those 3 days.
Well, how long were your days, those 3 days?
One of them was 16 and a half hours.
Yeah, like I kept calling him, are you coming home? Are you going to make it home tonight?
That was the night that ended it all, because my truck had already been slipping. Okay. And driving home that night, we didn't have time to cook or anything. Didn't have time to go to the grocery store, so I stopped and got us food and was in the truck, and I was starving. I just wanted to get home and see my wife. I was fed up and frustrated with the day and this job. And 2 miles from the RV park, which we'll get to in just a minute, transmission blew out on the 1500. And my heart sunk, because we have, at this point, put out a lot of money for this truck and this RV park that we're going to talk about in just a minute. So that's probably where we're going to circle back to that in a few minutes, and that might be where we end this first episode, is where on the side of the road with was that Brody?
Brody. He's either hungry or...
Okay, well, you got to wait till we're done recording, sir. Sorry. Anyway.
Our cross to bear.
Yeah. So, anyway, yeah, that was a heart-sinking moment. But let's backtrack to where we went to pick up the truck, the RV, okay? So, I have been a manager at U-Haul, and I've driven big trucks and trailers and stuff, and I'm kind of used to it. So, but I'm not going to lie to you. This thing was intimidating. We got this one because it says it's a 37-foot truck travel trailer. Mm-hmm. Well, here's another thing we learned as newbies. That's living space. That's just the inside footprint. We may have to pause.
We may have to pause because he's not one to give up.
He's not.
He's not. He will keep on.
37-foot indoor footprint. This is going to be funny on the show.
Yeah.
Taking a pause for Brody.
For Brody.
All right, let's go over here. Pause the recording. Oh, hey, look, we're back. Look at that. So, that was kind of... Well, that's normal. That's going to happen. Oh man, Brody there, 14 years old, decided, one, he either wanted water, he either wanted food, or he wanted to go for a walk.
And when he wants it now.
Yeah, and he will not stop. So we had to stop. And he has water. We fed him. He ate a whole bowl. And then we took him and Paco for a walk. And there is what they call it, a snow squall coming in?
Something, winter storm.
Yeah,
something.
And the wind is kicking up out there. Oh, if those of y'all don't know, we are in central New Hampshire, New London, about 2 hours from Canada, about 45 minutes from Vermont, about an hour and a half from Maine, and about an hour and a half from Boston. So
from Boston.
Yeah. So that's where we're at right now, and we'll get there as this story progresses. So 37 foot of living space. I don't have my headphones on. Look at that. Hey.
All right.
Hey, I can hear us now. Okay, wow. 37 feet of living space, okay? What they don't tell you is bumper to tongue. Our RV is 41 feet long. She's a big girl. She's big. And dry weight on her is 9,700 pounds, which is under the 12,000 pound towing package of the 1,500 foot truck. Mm-hmm. 1,500.
We have a 1,500 foot truck, y'all.
But what I've come to learn, and we'll lead you into that in a minute. But right now, 1,500 footer. Not 1,500. 1,500 should tow. Good God Almighty. The GMC 1,500 should tow this new 41 foot RV. All right. So we left there while they got the RV ready to go for us, and we had an appointment to come back. So that was about 2 days. We proceeded to try and find somewhere to park this thing while we were there in Texas.
Yeah. And that was an adventure because there are a lot of RV parks in the basic circumference, the basic area that we wanted to look in. And it wasn't just Austin, it was all around Austin. I mean,
yeah.
Georgetown, Round Rock, Liberty Hill, Cedar Park, whatever. Nobody had any spots. Well, for our big RV.
big
I mean, if you have like a little bitty teardrop, you were good.
Yeah.
But not
And
for us.
then some of these RV parks. Wow.
Yeah. Some of them you drive into and you circle and you drive right back out.
Right back out. And the price, holy cow. This is where we are some learning lessons. We're shifting stuff on the desk here. You can't see it on
fighting with
camera.
each other
We're
over
fighting
there.
with
It's like,
elbow space.
my
Because
space, my
sun's
space.
starting to come through the window here, and I've had to scoot
is
over a
it?
little bit. No, it's fine.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, these things were expensive, and this is where we started to learn it's not just about the RV payment that you're going to be making. It's going to be about the RV park that you're in, the amenities. Everything adds up to what the park is charging. And the ones that were in the range that we wanted to look for, which was like $300 or so, would have been awesome, were crap.
Yeah, it was like just somebody basically had a little piece of land that they didn't even clean it up. I mean, they just like, here's a spot, here's a spot, here's a spot.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
We found one that was really awesome. Paved sites, pool. They had tiny homes and stuff there and everything. Really,
Very nice.
Very nice.
Very good little community that
Very,
they were
very
going
nice.
for there.
Very expensive. And they had about a year's wait.
Yeah, about a year wait, and good luck getting a hold of anybody.
Yeah.
We actually had to go there
And talk to somebody.
and talk to somebody, which I think we had to wait, didn't we, for like 30 minutes for
Yeah,
somebody
they
to
were-
come back to
yeah.
the office.
They were out at lunch.
At that time, not very well run.
Not very well run. Not very well run. We never got to stay there.
Yeah. Well, we actually had a spot. Remember?
Oh, but it was for like a month out, wasn't it?
It was pretty far out, and they actually called us and said it's ready, and that's when we actually had to leave the area. So
That's right.
we didn't get.
Yeah.
We lost our deposit on that. We've lost lots of deposits.
Oh yeah.
By the way.
Be prepared to lose deposits, because you'll hear from everybody out there. And by the way, big fans of Switch It Up. Enjoy the journey.life. Changing lanes. Big fans of all those guys, and they'll tell you a lot of things that we're telling you, but we're just giving you our experience. And be prepared to lose deposits, because you're going to plan things, and you need to plan in advance, as far in advance as you can, which means you got to put deposits down, but you got to be prepared for things to change. And unfortunately, you're going to lose deposits. Okay. And we've lost a lot of deposits, and we'll hit on some of that as we go through this journey.
Yeah, we lost the deposit in Georgia
Yeah,
because we didn't get $100.
$100 in
right
Georgia
there.
because the contract didn't go through. So that was the first one we lost right off the bat, $100. So anyway, 2 days of looking for everywhere, we ended up finding a KOA in Leander KOA. Now, in the end, I enjoyed Leander KOA. It was expensive, about $1,000 a month. Very expensive. But out of everywhere we have been, they had the largest dog run. And it was awesome. It was awesome for our dogs. We could go out there and we could get them off the leash and they could run.
Yeah,
They could run.
it was a very large space.
Very
It was
large
very
space, and it was backed up to a field that had longhorns and stuff, and the dogs would go over there and bark at the longhorns, and the longhorns would come to the fence and
nice. Stare at them.
stare at them like, what is your problem? I'd
Right.
step on you in a heartbeat.
That
Yeah,
was beautiful.
it was beautiful. They had a great little saltwater pool, and with a hot tub and everything. They had a playground and everything. Waterfall. They really had a nice setup there. And what I wanted, and everywhere I go, I always want this, but I don't ever seem to get it. I want the pull-through site. I've got a 41-foot RV with my truck with all my tools and stuff on it that I want parked close to my RV. I'm a traveling contractor.
Well, just know that when you're traveling around, staying at places, if you're going to stay long term, most of them treat long term a lot different than people just want to come through for the weekend or for a night or two. Generally, if you're going to stay a while, you're kind of put either you're off to the side, crammed together.
You're the redheaded stepchild.
Yeah. It's not
Yeah.
and if you're going to stay the night, you get the nice big green plush pull through. So just know that that's usually how it goes. For
That's
long
usually
term.
how it's go. That's how it's gone for 2 years.
Yeah, yeah. What I didn't like about Leander was, I mean, luckily we found a spot that we could fit into barely,
Yeah.
barely. There was not room to park a vehicle.
No. But I had to park my truck sideways. Again, my truck had the tools and ladders and stuff, and I wanted it close
sideways,
to the RV.
right in front of the RV.
Right in front of the RV.
And I had my truck at the time, and they charged an extra $25 a month. For me to have my truck there, and I had to park it way up by the office in their overflow section. Yeah. So if I wanted to go anywhere, I had to walk up to the office to get my vehicle. So didn't like that at all. Didn't like how crammed it was. Really crammed together. If you're there long term, you were crammed next to the person that was there, and I don't like that.
Yeah. For me, I liked the spot I was in, other than the fact it was at the front corner by the main road. And where our bedroom was, we ended up having to put foil over the windows and towels over the windows and stuff because people's headlights from the main road were shining right in our bedroom. And that sucked butt. But they had us in a little corner. They had a nice little corner fence, and I was able to put out just a big doggy gate that we have, or baby gate that we have, and made like a small little yard for the dogs. And all we had to do was open the back door, and they could step out and go out and do their business and stuff, you know?
Of course, we cleaned it up.
We cleaned it up, and we'll get into that too.
Yeah, that's...
Doggy etiquette. Anywho. So, it had its pluses and minuses, and it was expensive. One things you need to learn with having dogs in an RV. Let's go ahead and just get into some of this etiquette because this one, it's a
big one.
It's kind of a big one.
It's one of my biggest pet peeves.
One of the biggest pet peeves. I'm just going to give you a little bit of experience of what happened with us. Paco is a herding dog. He barks and he's got foxhound in him, and he's as a herding instinct. They bump you and they nip the back heels of the cattle or the sheep or whatever to get them to move. And Paco is notoriously known as the life of the party when he's at the doggy daycare or the vet.
Yeah,
but
the
groomers, they all love him. Say he's the greatest dog in the world.
Oh my gosh, he's so cute. He just wants to love on you.
But when he's on a leash with me or with Aunt Robin, don't approach rapidly or anything like that, because he's very protective and he gets very aggressive, especially with Aunt Robin, and one of the workers was coming into the dog area, and the dog was loose, and I said to him, can you please wait, let me get my dog on a leash, and I'm trying to get Paco on a leash, and he just barges right into the gate, and Paco jumped up and nipped him. So what happens? We get an email from the office. We got to go talk to the office. Our dog bit one of their workers. And I explained the situation, and she says, well, if he does it again, we're going to have to ask you to leave. I've got a pit bull over here that we have to keep in here because it's a service dog. And I was like, oh, really? Okay. So we go back, and guess what? After not even an hour's worth of searching and figuring things out, Paco and Brody are now registered service dogs. Yes, they are.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah. But again, I tried to tell the guy, don't let me get the dog under control. We do everything in our power with Paco. We have the bright red vest, which red means do not approach, do not attempt to pet. He even has a sign on the side of his vest that says, do not pet. He has a muzzle that when we're in a crowded park, we keep a muzzle on him. So he doesn't bark a whole lot, and he doesn't bite anybody. And we've got a red leash. Note, red means do not approach, do not pet. Green means I'm extremely friendly. Yellow means ask permission. Okay? There are etiquettes to this thing. Brody, he's just old.
Yeah.
You never know what he's
going
to
do. He's a little grumpy.
So his just says do not pet. You know?
Do not pet.
But anyway, that's happened several times. We had another situation we'll talk about when we get to Maine, where Paco bit somebody. That was another. Again, don't approach when the dog is acting aggressively.
Yeah, especially when he's jumping at you aggressively. So,
don't approach.
Yeah, just don't do it.
Now, the biggest pet peeve we have about dogs and traveling in RVs. are you listening out there? If you've got a dog and you're traveling in your RV with your dog, pick up your dog's poop.
Just pick it up.
Pick it up.
Pick it up. Poop bags are very inexpensive. And it's just, I know it's not the greatest thing to do. Nobody really wants to pick up poop. But it's part of your responsibility.
As a pet owner, it's part of your responsibility. You are paying for an RV spot and the amenities of this park, but you have to do your part to keep the place organized, clean, and neat. Don't be that asshole that everybody looks at the park going, that guy's a piece of crap over there. Look how messy his shit is. Don't be that guy. Nobody likes that guy.
I mean, plus the fact, a lot of times, you take your dog out at night. He's got to go. I don't want to step in poop when I'm out walking my dog at night.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So I just never understood. It's like, why can't people just pick it up? And even when they have a place for you to throw it away.
Yeah, they have waste stations with bags.
With bags and everything. They give you the bags. Still don't do it.
Just pick it up.
Yeah.
Just pick it up. Where we're at right now, on what we call our 1-1 condo, which we will get to, it's been snowing. It's been 3 foot of snow on the ground. We have Mount what do I call it? Poopsuvius. Mount Poopsuvius and Little Mount Poopsuvius, where the snow trails where everybody walks their dogs, and we're the only ones to pick up the poop.
We're the only ones.
We're the only ones. I mean, and believe me, the owners and the managers know that we're the only ones that pick up the poop.
They see it.
They see it.
And I don't know what these people are feeding their dogs, but it is all coming out the other end. These are huge, huge things of food.
God. Pay attention to what you feed your dog, because a lot of those ones have like the corn and stuff like that as a filler.
No nutrition whatsoever.
No nutrition, and it creates big, giant elephant turds.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
Spend the money. Feed them healthy food.
Yeah, baby.
They don't poop as much, and they don't poop ginormous elephant turds.
Yeah.
Wow, we really got off on a tangent on poop there. But
it's just gross.
It's gross, and it is one of our biggest pet peeves. In 10,000 miles of travel, oh my God, the dogs are getting under the table on their feet. It's our biggest pet peeve. Do not hit any of the cords, dude.
Yeah, and a lot of places actually have signs, please pick up your dog's poop. If you don't, we ask you to leave the park. No, they don't.
They don't.
They don't.
They don't.
These people know whose dogs are doing what.
Yeah.
That's just,
That's it. That's our biggest. If you're traveling with your animal, they are your responsibility. Pick up the poop.
Pick up the poop.
Don't be that person.
Yeah, I mean, people nowadays, you hear complaints in certain big cities where, the homeless, they just walk out and poop on the sidewalks, and they and that's like this huge big nasty deal. Well, dogs poop too. It's poop. Why don't people treat it the same way? I don't know.
And there's one more thing about the dogs as well in these RV parks. Keep your dog on a leash. Do not let your dog just run wild, okay? Yeah. Again, we keep ours on a leash. We have the harnesses. We have everything that's in the markings, and we do everything possible to warn anybody around us, don't approach, especially when he's being aggressive.
Yeah, and it's really, I don't want anybody getting hurt, and I don't want my dog getting hurt by your dog or your dog getting hurt by my dog. But when you let your dog just run around, they run up.
They run
to
up
my dog.
To my dog, and our dog thinks he's trying to attack us, and our dog will attack.
Yeah, and so.
And if you read most of the rules when you go into an RV park, it says keep your pets on a leash.
No longer than 5 feet long.
Yeah.
I think is what they want.
Read the rules, abide by them. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and if there's somebody in a dog pen with their dog running loose, before you just walk in, say, hey, is it okay if we come in, or do you need to put your leash on your dog, and I can give you a minute for that? Don't just barge in. Be polite, okay? Yeah. Because it just creates frustration, aggravation, and stress, not only in the animals, but in the owners themselves. I can't tell you the amount of stress, the amount of stress that we go through with our dogs.
Yeah.
In some RV parks.
And if you're going to let your small child walk the dog, make sure that child can handle the dog. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not going to say I haven't seen the child pulled across the ground.
Yeah, it's like your 4-year-old pulled a Rottweiler. That's a great idea.
I've seen the child pulled across the ground. I'm not going to say I laughed, but I did.
Oh well.
I'm an a-hole. I'm sorry. Anyway,
we all are at times.
wow, we got really sidetracked there. So we were had our spot at Leander KOA, and we went and picked up the truck. I mean, the RV. Okay, so this is the first time hitching it up to the truck, and we had to go through the walkthrough with the technician at the dealership, and dude was as redneck as the day is long, and I love rednecks because I are one, and but you could tell this was not his forte. He did not enjoy having to sit here and walk people through how to use their RVs.
Oh, and rednecks are everywhere, by the way, just a side note.
Oh, yeah.
Not just in the South.
Oh, yeah.
They're everywhere.
They're all over New England up here, and I'm going to tell you right now, Maine is the trailer park of the Northeast. Yes, it is. We love Maine, and we'll get to you later. Anyway, so this guy, he is rushing us through this thing, and we are newbies, greeny weenies. We really have never had an RV before. And he's rushing us through everything. What is he huffing and puffing again?
I don't know what his problem. We're not paying attention to him. I think it's the
problem. That's what it is. We're talking to you guys. We're not paying attention to him. Anyway, so we're greeny weenies, and this guy is running through it, and I am trying my best to make mental notes of everything he's telling me. And
yeah, I was just hoping you were getting it all down because I was getting none of it.
And there was so much I missed. Like, here's one thing that's pretty important, and you greeny weenies and newbies out there will need to know this. Okay, your hot water heater. Okay. Most of them have two settings, propane and electric. He just flew right over that. I didn't know that. So we were about 1.5 years into this, and me running that hot water heater constantly on propane, and had a repairman come out there, and he's like, "Oh, hey, why don't you just switch it over to electric while you're sitting in a long term?" I'm like, "What?" And you hear Brody back here because we're not paying attention to him. But anyway, so he ruined the effect of what I just told you. Yeah, when you're sitting long term. Turn the propane off to the hot water heater. You run it on electric, and you conserve your propane. So, study your manual about your RV and what your functions of everything is, because there's a lot that you'll learn along the way. And that was the first thing that I learned. The battery turn off. Oh, we'll get into that in Tennessee. Okay, Just remember, battery turn off. This guy never told me anything about it. All right, so anyway, we get through the time frame there of that instruction, if you will.
If you will.
And I back the truck up, and I put the RV onto the truck, and whoo, she's heavy. Yeah. She's heavy. And we have to pull out and head out. And like I said, I have pulled some big trailers before. And
I think a part of you was puckered.
I think I sucked up half the seat. Pardon. Sorry. Pardon me. I might bleep that out.
Part of you was puckered.
Holy cow. That thing, I've never towed anything this big before. And it was kind of intimidating, to say the least.
Well, yeah. And on top of that.
Oh, yeah. All of a sudden, the skies went dark.
Out of nowhere.
And this is the story of our life. The skies went dark, clouds rolled in, lightning struck, and the heavens came down.
It was pouring.
We're talking a frog strangler, worse than a cow pissing on a flat rock. You name it. It was bad, and I'm trying to drive this thing. I had to go 14 miles. That's it. 14 miles to the RV park. And I didn't have the mirror extensions for the 1500, so I couldn't see around the sides. I'm just looking at the bottom of the front cap, making sure it's between the white line on the right-hand side, the yellow line on the left-hand side, going, please, God, let me get there.
There was a lot of praying going on.
There was a lot of praying, and I know for half the trip there was a damn police officer behind me laughing his ass off at me because we still had the paper plates on the back, so he knew we just bought this thing. As we rolled in, and then I pulled into the RV park, and they left the package because they closed, and we had to back this thing into our spot.
Little bitty tiny spot.
In the dark, in the rain. First time I've backed something up like this without the right mirrors and everything like that. Nailed it.
Absolutely, like you'd been doing it forever. I was like, holy crap, honey.
I was never more relieved. to turn that truck off than I was at that moment and drop that RV. Holy crap. I'll be honest with you folks, I haven't told this to Aunt Robin, but that exact moment I thought to myself, what the hell did I do?
I do. Mm-hmm. And we've been asking ourselves that a lot ever since then.
That's come out a lot. But at that moment, I was truly a little bit terrified.
And of course, once you park it, there's still a lot of stuff you have to do.
Yeah, and it's still raining.
To be able to say, okay, let's go in and
still
turn
raining
on the TV.
So this is the first time we've set one up by ourselves. And there are some RV dealerships out there. There's one out in Kyle, Texas. I really like those guys. I've talked to them before when I first originally had the idea years ago about doing an RV. And they've actually got an RV park there, and they've got 10 spaces specifically for new customers. They want you to buy the RV. They want you to come in. They'll help you set it up, and they'll take you over, and they'll help you do a site setup. And you spend 3 or 4 days there testing it out and knocking the bugs out. And if you have any questions, they're right there. Find a dealership like that. That's amazing. That's awesome. Those are the guys you need to go to, okay? Ours didn't have that. Ours didn't. We had 2 hours. 2 hours and out the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then once you've signed the paperwork, most dealerships don't give two rats butts about you once you're gone. You've made them money, and you're gone.
Yeah. They're waving by.
They're waving by.
And that's the last you see of them.
So anyway, rainstorm, trying to set this thing up. That was fun. Because the first time you set this thing up is where you actually realize, oh, I need a Y because I have a gray tank up here and I've got a black tank over here. So what am I going to do tonight? Well, we need the black tank, so let's set the black tank up. And then we'll go get a Y at Walmart tomorrow. Go! Here's another key thought for you. Walmart, surprisingly, has just about every little RV thing you will need in a pinch.
Don't buy it from the delership.
Don't buy it from the delership when you buy your RV. Oh my God,
I think we spent about $200,
and it should have only cost us $100.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Maybe. Yeah.
They again, newbies, greeny weenies. They make their money on us greeny weenies. So Walmart is going to be your best friend on the road for immediate supplies and stuff. And during this pandemic thing, toilet paper. Most people don't know that the RV toilet paper is in a different area. So go there.
Yeah, get your RV toilet paper in the RV section.
Yeah. Anyway, so got it all set up, and what are you barking at now, man? Sorry, we got to take a pause for the dog for just a second. What is going on? I don't think we're so. What?
I didn't walk him around enough to do that.
Okay. All right, we still got a few minutes more to go on this thing here, but apparently old man didn't get a long enough walk. We quite honestly think he has to go to Mount Vesuvius.
See, Paco, he goes out, he goes right to it, he gets it done, he's done. Brody has to walk around for a little while.
Again, he's an old man.
Find just the right spot. So we might need to go back out.
All right, so we're going to pause once again and take the old man out, and we'll come back, and I swear we're getting close to the end of this first episode. I swear. And hopefully as this series progresses, we won't have quite so many interruptions.
Yeah.
But we did like 3 other episodes right before this one, and they were perfectly fine with those. So anyway, we're taking a pause. We'll be right back. Where are we with my story? We just got it all set up.
We just got it all set up.
Walmart is your best friend in a pinch.
Yeah.
All right, and then we'll get into. Oh, you know what? This is a good spot for the. I'm gonna put a little video on the of the Leander KOA right there. So those of you watch the video, there you go. Take care of that. And then, hey, look, surprise, we're back. Those of you who listen to the audio, there was no time lapse at all.
We were here all along.
Yeah, but we are gonna go walk the dog. We'll be right back.
Be right back.
Wow. Okay, we are back again, folks. We apologize for the Brody interruption.
It's like
Man,
I have
love
a
this table.
3-year-old child.
I love this table, and it's rocking the hell out of my Aunt Robin's.
But the house is a rocking.
Mm-hmm. It's probably just the dogs.
It's probably just a crappy table.
So Brody didn't go poo.
No, he just wanted to walk around and smell everybody else's.
This is our life.
So yeah, he does what he wants. I'm gonna get. I have a T-shirt that says "I do what I want." I'm gonna make him one because he really does what he wants.
Yeah. And look for that in the merchandise store sooner or later. Sooner or later.
So I gave him each a bone with some peanut butter in it. So that might keep him for 3 minutes.
3 minutes is what we got here until we start hearing from him again.
My
Anyway,
nose is frozen. I'm sorry. I have a runny nose.
it's cold. There's snow squalls coming in, and it's cold out there. And yeah, I don't even know where we were at.
You've gotten into the spot. When it's rainy and dark, and it's perfectly, and we have to, you have to hook everything up, like your sewer line and your water line.
And that was the exact point that I realized that 37 feet was the internal living space, not the external overall dimensions of 41 foot. And the spot they gave us was great for a 37-foot RV.
Okay. I love the northern winters.
So we took up every bit of the space, and we proceeded to spend our time there. How long did we stay there at that park?
2.5 months.
That's right. We ended up getting stuck in Texas for 2.5 months.
In the summer.
It
was hot. Like, I thought our dogs were going to spontaneously combust because they'd been up here in New Hampshire for years. They got used to the weather.
milder weather, and
they love the snow, and all of a sudden we're in hell.
Yeah, we're in Texas.
Like, what are we doing? What are we doing here?
Oh my God! And a scary moment. This is another thing you guys have got to be prepared to learn is that things are gonna break. This is a brand new RV. We put a lot of money up for this brand new RV, and we go to do something throughout the day, and it's like 104 that day in Texas. And we left the living room AC on for the boys. And this is where we've learned now that when we go away, we leave both ACs on, okay? The living room AC broke. Brand new. We hadn't even had this thing a month. Broke.
I think it was like 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
I think it was about 2 weeks in.
Broke. We come home and open the door, and thank God we came home when we did. These dogs were...
God.
They were so hot.
It was so hot in there. It was like an oven.
I think it was almost 110 inside that RV.
It was horrible.
And, oh man, we felt so damn bad. So damn bad. And so, anytime we leave now, I have to leave the dogs there. We leave both ACs going. Because if one fails, they can at least go back to the back side of the RV. You know, and we have fans going and everything like that. You know, so, you know, things you got to think about, okay? Be prepared for something to go out. And if you get to leave your dog in the RV, what do you have a backup for them if something goes out? Be prepared for that. And also, this is where you learn some of the rules of the RV parks and stuff, man. This is the heat of the Texas summer. And we found, we learned a lot with this incident, okay? Let's just backtrack just a hair. Like, we called the dealership, 2 weeks old, and they're like, yeah, just bring it in.
Yeah, bring it in and leave it. Well, it's like we live in it.
We live in it.
You don't live in your parking lot?
This was a pain in the butt for me to get over here, and I was not going to want to drive it back just so they could look at the AC unit. This is where we learned about the mobile RV mechanics.
I love them.
I love them.
You'd think there would be more of them.
And I'm going to get my license, too. Just when we do get to travel around, I'm going to just hang out a little placard, mobile RV tech. Because I've learned a lot in the last 2 years, and I can fix a lot of things. Anyhow, this guy came out. And he was out there quick, fast, and hurry because it was heat of Texas. And sure enough, the AC failed. He was able to get it under warranty. Problem was, it was going to be 7 days till they could get one. 7 days. Wow. We ran to Home Depot. We bought a small window unit that would fit in the exit window of our RV. And I put it in. and it cooled down the front of the RV.
It was amazing.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
And 24 hours later, we get an email.
Was it even 24 hours?
I don't know if it was 24 hours or not.
It was the next morning, probably.
Yeah, get an email. Yeah. And what did it say, Robin?
That you can't have a window unit.
We don't allow window units in the RVs.
Yeah, because it might make it look
like trash.
Not so nice. Which there were a couple RVs there that I was like, really?
Yeah, right.
You let that? Oh, and they have this rule at most RV places is like your RV can't be older than like 10 to 15 years, depending on. Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
I have some horror stories we'll tell you about in Tennessee,
Mm-hmm.
where they wanted to stick us in Tennessee. I mean, North Carolina, not Tennessee, North Carolina. But Tennessee had some bad ones.
Tennessee had,
You know what? Everywhere we've gone, we've found good and bad, and we're going to go over that as we go through the trip here. But this one here, I had to go up there and explain to the lady as politely as I could without losing my temper.
My temperature.
Yeah, of the situation that we had no AC and the window unit was staying in there until we get it replaced. Now, luckily, before they had a chance to like really kick us out or anything like that over it, because she wasn't happy with my telling her what was going to happen.
She wasn't happy about much of it.
She wasn't happy about much of anything. The guy that ran the place was great.
Nice.
He was real nice. Her, not so much. Anyway, luckily, 7 days turned out to be 48 hours. The mobile mechanic got them to actually rush it, and they were able to almost overnight ship the thing.
Yeah.
And he called and said, "Can we come put it in?" And Robin was like, "Yes."
Yes, absolutely. Tell me when. I'm here.
Yeah. So it was only 48 hours. We didn't have an AC, and they put the new AC in, and I was able to take the other AC back to Home Depot and get our money back for it. But
don't tell them that.
Don't tell them.
I don't think that's kosher. But
who cares?
Whatever.
Anyway,
like we're the only ones who've done it.
Right.
Hey, I bought a TV from Walmart a long time.
had the wrong TV.
Digressing.
Right?
Yeah, I bought my first. At the time, it was like a thin screen. It was a plasma.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my gosh, this is awesome. It's like $500 something. Got it home, opened the box, and it was a totally different TV that did not work, was broken. Apparently, someone bought the TV, put their old one in it, and returned it to Walmart. So, that happened.
Yeah. Anyway, the AC worked. Anywho. So, from there, I got that other job, and I worked it for 3 days, and it was horrible. And then that fateful night, coming home, and the transmission went out.
Luckily, I still had my truck that I was leasing, and I was able to go and get him and wait for the wrecker and all that good stuff. And sat there, and what was it, Taco Bell we ate in the truck together or something?
Yeah, it was Taco Bell.
It was Taco Bell.
It was Taco Bell waiting in the truck.
Food of champions.
I was tired. I was fed up. That what I had been witnessing for the last 3 days was, I can't really describe how irritating it was. And the next morning, the owner of the company I was contracted for called me up to ask me where I was at. And I said, you know what, I'm going to call you later, and I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel about this whole thing. And I hung up on him. So I called him later, and I explained every detail about how this was an asinine contract they had down here, and the rates they were trying to pay were averaging out to roughly maybe $10 an hour, which is insane for the skill level that they were wanting for that position. And he took everything I had to heart, and he called up the prime company and told them that he was withdrawing his contract, and offered me another position in College Station, but that was in coax, and I wasn't going back to coax.
I'm sorry.
Ooh, foreshadowing.
Ooh, yeah. Never say never.
Yeah, I swore I would never go back to college. No. Foreshadowing. Just think North Carolina. So, anyway, so now
Tennessee. Didn't you do?
No, that was Copper Telephone.
Oh,
which I also said I'd never go back to.
Sorry, Copper. I got that confused.
Still foreshadowing of events to come.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there I am again. No job, no prospects on the future, and our savings just going out the door.
Yeah. Well, what's so funny is that when we left New Hampshire, we had $10,000 in savings.
Yeah. Yeah,
And now we're having to put stuff on credit cards at this point. So
yeah, and had paid off half our credit cards, and so I mean, we were sitting pretty good.
we were doing pretty well. I thought, wow, this is great and shiny, and
Yeah.
the future was so bright.
Yeah, we had to wear shades.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's because you could see through the window blinds in an RV. You had to wear shades. Never mind. Hold on. Anyway, so we were kind of hemorrhaging money at this time, and I picked up another contract for, the transmission. $5,000.
Yeah, $5,000 for transmission.
$5,000 for this transmission, and a week before we could get it back. So sitting idle, money, right out the window, hemorrhaging left and right, just blood squirting everywhere, money squirting everywhere.
Yep.
So a week came by, got the truck back. She's running pretty good. And I managed to find a lead on another job, and it was for splicing fiber drops for the local one of the local companies there in Austin, Texas. And I'm not going to say their name. They just they rhyme with oogle.
Boogle? You got a job with Boogle?
Boogle. Yep,
Wow.
Boogle. It was
Awesome.
Boogle. It was Boogle. And wow, man, this wasn't a horrible gig, okay? It wasn't the company I was working for, contracting for. Really nice people, really good people, willing to just, do everything they could because they wanted me for my splicing skills there. And the problem with this is the majority of the plant is aerial and rear access. No bucket truck. I have to splice everything on a ladder because their drops, where I'm used to preterm drops, at least at the terminals on the pole, and splicing on the side of the house, these guys, I have to crack open canisters, and I'm going to show pictures, woohoo, magic pictures right there on the video, of canisters opening up that I had to push drops into, strip the drops, and splice them to the fibers in the air off a ladder, and never done that before. That was a learning curve. And I looked into the platforms and stuff to buy, and you can buy some real fancy platforms that were $600. I built one for $20. Think outside the box, people. I'm not spending $600 for a platform. I can build it for $20. You'll see that in the picture too. But anyway, so you had to splice in the can, and then you had to splice down at the house, So the pricing they told you was $20 a splice, and I thought, okay, we can make some. I can do this. I can do a splice in 20 minutes. I can set up and do it in 20 minutes. This thing was averaging, with the setup time for the aerial and everything, was averaging almost an hour and a half to 2 hours per drop. That's not right. And I'm on the far side of Austin from where we were at, and I have to drive the highways, and the best way to get there efficiently is the toll roads, which I love our toll roads, don't get me wrong, but that's $20 a day in tolls.
So we ended up actually paying more in tolls and gas.
Yeah,
than
I worked a solid week with that gig, and we always constantly have to figure out the logistics of what we're doing, where we're working, and the cost. Is it worth it? And that Boogle job, averaged after a week $8 an hour. The new Buc-ee's was hiring at $17 an hour.
Yeah, don't think we didn't think about that.
No shit. No shit.
Well, you could go to HEB down the street and make a lot more than that.
So I was ready to quit this thing, but they said, all right, well, we'll put you over in a buried plant section where it's a lot easier. Okay, that's fine. Right.
It wasn't really about easier.
It wasn't about easier.
It was about
the money, the
pay.
logistics. It wasn't working. You needed to up that big time from what they were offering, and it wasn't enough. But this particular day, it was literally 107 degrees, and I'm soaked. Sweat is just pouring down my forehead and everything like this. And I take a break and I sit in the truck in AC, and I put out on Facebook, "This is hot. I'm sweating," and I get a message back from the Facebook void from a friend of mine that I had worked with in New Hampshire up here in this area, and he says, "This is where I'm working today, and it's this beautiful lake." He says it's only 74 degrees. I was like, "Where are you at?" He said, I'm in Maine for the same guy I was working for in New Hampshire. Well, I knew we were hemorrhaging money, and I knew I was going to kill myself working for Boogle for averaging $8 an hour. And so I called up the old boss, just touching base. And I said, yeah, hey, Brett said he's working up in Maine. And the old boss goes, well, hey, funny, you should call. I just got an email this morning from Ron up there in Maine. They need another person in Maine.
And I said, when do we leave?
Hold up. Hold up.
I said, when do we leave?
My mind screamed, I'll take it. Now, the proper husband and partner in my mind told John, hey, you know what, John, I appreciate that. Give me 24 hours. Let me talk to my wife about that, okay? Because that's the best way to do things. Well, my mind is screaming, take it and run, boy. It's hourly, and it's good money. So I went home, talked to Robin, of course, and what did Robin say?
When do we leave?
When do we leave, right?
When do we fly? Yeah, we just came from there, but...
we just come from New Hampshire. So
let's
now,
drive the same roads. Arkadelphia is actually a place that we've been through several times.
Yeah, I think at this point we have been through Arkadelphia probably...
4 times?
No, I think about half a dozen.
Already?
We'll figure that out later.
Yeah, we will.
But we've been through the same...
Yeah, same places, same things. Hey, there's that again. Hey,
there's that again.
Bass Pro Shop Pyramid.
Yeah, oh, God almighty.
Yeah.
So, we break the news to everybody. Hey, it's time for us to move on because there's no work here. 2.5 months. And I've worked a total of...
6 days, 7 days, 8 days.
9 days, I think it was. 9 days total for 2 companies, and that made squat. Because here's the thing about Texas and Austin in particular, the telecom industry, they don't pay squat. They don't. They want you to have the 30 years experience that I do and want you to work for babysitter money.
Well, and they want you to have your own truck, your own tools,
your own insurance,
you need to do the job, everything
and
you're paying out the butthole for, and then they want to pay you $16 bucks an hour.
Not even that. Well, like that one job averaged, the Google job averaged $8 an hour.
Yeah.
Logistically. Otherwise, and that was still being 40 minutes one way on the road with the toll road. If I didn't take the toll road, that goes to 2 hours one way.
Yeah.
From where I was working and where we were staying.
Yeah.
So we took the job in Maine. Okay. Copper telephone. You're going to hear as the story progresses that I loathe copper telephone with the passion of 1,000 burning suns. Yeah. But somehow I constantly go back to it. I don't know why. Anyway, so we say our goodbyes, we get everything ready to go, and we load up the truck. And we're going to end at the end of this next segment when we get to the next RV park is probably where we're going to end this first episode, okay? So this is the first leg of our traveling journeys, our real first leg going from here. We were going to go up to Greenville. We had a spot in a little Greenville RV park, which actually was not a bad RV park.
Yes,
kind of liked it.
I actually enjoyed that.
Kind of liked it, other than the fact the pool was so big and it was kind of shallow, and it's Texas heat of 107 degrees. There was one day I jumped in, and I was wondering why there was nobody in the pool. I found out when I jumped in, I was swimming in hot soup.
Hot soup.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Texas is hot. Our home state is hot. Imagine that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so our first leg, okay? New transmission. What could go wrong? Right?
We'll tell you in the next segment.
Yeah. No, we can tell them, and then we'll finish.
Okay.
All right?
Cool. Let's tell them.
And so we start driving down the road, and again, this thing is huge. This thing is huge, and it is bouncing that 1,500 truck around. I mean, I'm like, holy crap!
And don't we only have like 3 days really until you're
3 days to get to Maine?
Start? Okay,
so we're supposed to start. Okay, so we're on a time crunch. So we're moving. We're going to stop in Greenville, see my pop at the nursing home, have breakfast with my mom, and roll out the next day. That after breakfast, and we get to about 15 minutes outside of Royce City, Texas, where we were going to meet my brother and my mom. And I just smell something burning. I burnt fire is coming up from under my truck. and we'll fire smoke, and we're in bumper to bumper traffic, and I'm like, that's not good. What just happened? I managed to get off the highway. I pull down the side road and I jump out and I go and I look under the truck, and the truck is bleeding. The truck is bleeding. Red fluid everywhere. My brand new transmission.
Blue.
We managed to get down to a spot where we could pull off the road, and we had to chalk the RV and park the truck off to the side just as it stopped running in any gear. And had to call my brother. Thank God he had a truck that could haul the RV and got us over to the RV place. And we'll talk more about that. But tomorrow, or not tomorrow, well, next episode. But we got it parked and we got back over. And I can't express to you the amount of stress that this 2.5 months had been on us and on me. And this trip, not being a newbie, being a greenie weenie, hauling this big ass RV, bouncing my little truck around, and the amount of pressure and stress I was under, and that transmission going out again. And we waited 9 hours for the tow truck guy. 9 hours. The dealership where we took the GMC has closed by this point, so we have to dump the GMC right the front gate. All my tools, everything are on the truck.
They close those gates.
You can't
get in.
So I had to put it there. And I had this cup. I drink out of a Yeti right now, but I had this cup. What was this cup?
It was just a.
It was a generic.
It's a
Yeti.
generic. It wasn't any big name. I think
But
it came with a bottle of liquor
But it
that
was
somebody
mine.
had bought and left it behind. I think it was a maker's mark on the bottom or something.
Oh, it was mine. It was my
But
cup.
he'd had it for a while.
I'd had it for a while. This thing, I drank my coffee in the morning. I drank tea in it all day long. This was my cup. And this day had gone on and on, and my stress level, and I didn't know what was going to happen, how we were going to survive, how we were going to get through this. And we stopped to get the truck dropped off at the dealership, and I got out, and I set that cup down on my brother's sideboard of his truck. And then we
Got everything done. Made sure
it was all buttoned up, and we drove away.
And he was like, "Where's my cup?"
I left my cup outside. So we turned around to go back to get it. It was gone.
We couldn't find it.
And I'm gonna let you know, this is how stressed and how wound up I was. That was the straw.
Yeah.
That was the straw. As my brother drove me and my wife and my mom back over to our RV. I'm going to tell you, big burly old mongrel here just turned his head towards the window, and all I could do was friggin' cry.
Yep. I said, "Honey, we can get you a new cup."
It wasn't the cup. It was
We can get a new
everything.
cup.
Everything poured in and down on me at that exact moment, and that cup was the straw.
It was, it was just, we kind of started to wonder, is anything good going to happen to us? Because, literally for the past 2.5 months, everything was going
Against us.
bad.
Yeah.
Nothing was going right. Nothing was going good. We weren't getting any breaks. Bad thing, money. Everything was costing us money.
Everything. And
you'll
learn that with an RV. It's going to cost you money. And here's, I'm going to end on this one thing here. We'll take off for the next episode where we start from the dealership, from the moment, the next day after I broke down in the window and cried over a cup. But I have a friend that was a professor at the college I went to. He used to work on the Conan O'Brien show and everything. But I found out he comes from a long line of full-time lifer RVers. And him and his wife took their money and they traveled Europe in an RV, came back, traveled Canada in an RV, bought a fifth wheel, went down to Mexico, traveled Mexico, and then bought 40 acres in Kanab, Utah, and built their own RV park. Dark Skies RV. Jeff Roth, great guy. Love you, buddy.
Hopefully we'll get together.
Hopefully we'll get to come see you. The photographs you show me of the desert and the night sky up there with no light pollution, man, I want to see it, and I want to get those photographs myself.
Absolutely beautiful.
But he told me, and I held true to this, and he was about right too. He says, look, everything in the world is going to go wrong at first, and you're going to wonder if this was the right thing. He says, but stick with it. And about 6 months in, you'll hit your stride. And you know what? He was right. That first 6 months was rough. First 6 months was rough, and we'll get more to that next time around. But I think we're at a good stopping point here.
Mm-hmm.
The dog doesn't seem to be barking right now, so...
We live on his time, by the way.
We do, and man, God bless you. If you've lasted this long, and with the stops that we've had to do, then we really appreciate you. There's still a crap ton of ups and downs, and the financial worries and woes and stuff, and we're just going to touch a little more business one more time again. We want to do this as a traveling show eventually. There's always said there's more to this world than a 40-hour job. For me, 60 hours, 6 days a week job. Okay? There's more to this world to see, and I aim to see as much of it as I can while I'm still on God's green earth. And I want to take my wife and show her things that she's never seen. Okay?
That's a lot. There's a lot I have not seen.
Yeah, but to do that, we need to be able to shed our shackles of the regular day job, and we can't do that without some kind of support. So we want to grow this network. We want to do more shows, more videos, and more podcasts and stuff. Do this thing as a weekly thing, looking about trying to record every Sunday, and give me about 24, 48 hours to edit the thing out and launch it on about Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, okay? So look for us once a week for this podcast to be out there. Hit us up on the Facebook pages, Stewart Perspective, Random Access Web TV. Hit us up on YouTube, okay? YouTube channel, Random Access Web TV. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you get the notification when all the videos, because I do a lot of Uncle Mongrel videos too and stuff like that, and you'll get those, okay? And it helps with the algorithm. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment. I don't know why. Those three things seem to be the algorithm thing. I don't know why.
Yeah.
So do all those things, and if you want to donate to the show and help us grow, you can reach out to us at buymeacoffee.com/Random Access Communications. Or random. Oh, good Lord. Where's my business page? I swear to you, folks, we're going to get this down. We're going to get this down. Okay. Buymeacoffee.com/Random Access Web Communications. Good Lord. It's really long. I'm sorry, but that's what it is. And you'll see it in the video side of things. We'll have links in everywhere you see the podcast or anything from us. I'm going to have a link to this. You can always just click on it and donate there. You can buy us a coffee there. It's a little more intimate than Patreon. You can have a conversation. Oh, coffee. Oh, look. My coffee's cold.
And it's very cold. Ugh.
Yeah. Oh, that's a sugar cookie coffee right there. Buymeacoffee.com/Random Access Web Communications. Or if you just want to throw us some money and don't want to communicate or anything like that, PayPal me or PayPal.me/Raw Communications. Okay? So, two ways you can donate money to us, two ways you can multiple ways you can support the shows and stuff like that with the subscribe, the like, and share. And
we won't always just talk about us. It's not just going to be about us. We're going to talk about lots of different things.
Yeah, we're going to talk about
no politics, no religion.
No politics, no religion.
But we will talk about music, movies, what's going on in the world.
No.
Just things that have science. We're going to talk about a little bit of science.
Okay, there's some background on that. The original podcast that I did, Random Access Web TV, Raw the podcast. Ooh. We organically came up with some of the segments, and there was one that was somebody said, you want to talk about science, and the other two of us were hosting it yelled out effing science, but we used the real word, right? So that became one of the most popular segments. Was we would come in with and we would bring in science topics, and we would debate science topics. We're film guys and animation guys debating science topics. We ended up having an engineering school in Amarillo that the engineering students would get together on Thursday nights and drink beer and debate our science. That was awesome. You know, so we're going to try and not necessarily duplicate that, but we're actually going to talk about some science and stuff. But that's going to be in a regular format once we get through this 2-year journey.
Hopefully, at some point when the world stops burning, things will get back to happening the way they used to happen, and
we can
there'll be those cool things like the Comic Cons we enjoy, and the music stuff that we enjoy, South by Southwest, Austin City Limits, all those kinds of things all over the place that we can go to and report.
And food, we're big foodies, so you'll hear a lot of food stuff from us. And if you follow us on the social webs, you'll see a lot of foodie stuff on there.
Oh yeah.
And there's a whole lot we're going to talk about. We're going to continue the 2-year journey and stuff. And this next show around, we'll start off in Greenville, Texas, at the first leg of the journey and the first major disaster and hurdle. Yeah. So anyway, people, thank you so much for hanging with us. God bless you, and we will see you next time around. Love, peace, and bacon grease, y'all. Bacon.